guys, welcome to Baking and Books. My name is Lexi and I'm an amateur baker who loves to read. So each week I post videos of myself attempting to bake something new while also talking about a book that I have recently read or just really love. This week I'm going to be making Tres Leches cupcakes. We haven't made cupcakes in a while, and if you've been watching, you know that they're my specialty and I love to make them. And honestly, this just sounded delicious, so I thought we would give it a try. We're also going to be talking about The Summons by John Grisham. I'm interested to get into this with you guys, interested to see if other people have the same sort of opinions that I did about it. I think I'm still processing how I feel about it, so maybe I'll have processed by the end of this video. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm remembering to put on my apron today, so I'm going to do that at the beginning of the video before I start baking, as to save myself from making a huge mess. Okay, so we're going to start off with a synopsis. So the story centers around Ray, who is a professor at a college, I think in Virginia, and he gets summoned by his father to come back home because his father is sick and they're basically like going to go over his will and make sure everything is in order before he passes. And he knows that his brother Forrest will be there as well. And Forrest kind of has a track record for not being super put together. He's been an addict, in and out of rehab, different things like that. And so really, I think Ray is just not super looking forward to seeing him. And also on top of that, he's not very close to his father. So he's not really looking forward to the journey at all, but he knows he has to go back and set these last sort of things in motion. The problem is that when he gets there, he finds that his father has already passed. And he left a will, but it's kind of mysterious. It doesn't look like the will everybody thought was going to be happening. So now Ray is just super confused. There's no sign of his brother, so he doesn't have anybody to like talk to about this. And he's also, you know, coming to terms with the fact that his father has passed. And even though they weren't close, it's still his father, so it's a weird feeling. And as things progress, Ray finds an extremely large amount of money in his father's home, hidden away. It's not accounted for in his will, and nobody else seems to know about it. His father was a judge, and he gave a lot to charity. I mean, he barely had money for anything his sons needed because he just gave money to charity whenever people needed it, which is good, but obviously that confuses Ray because he's kind of like, okay, well then where did, you know, all of this insane amount of money just come from? So it kind of sends Ray down a path of trying to figure out maybe like the mysteries of who his father really was and where this money could have come from. Is it legal? Is it illegal? You know, and what exactly is going on? So that's pretty much it. So if you don't want things spoiled for you, then go forward until it says no more spoilers, and you can still see how the cupcakes turned out without having the story ruined for you. But if you've already read the story, you just don't care, then stay with me and we're going to get deeper into the book. Okay, I had to separate my eggs, and now I kind of have to like put everything into different little bowls here. I guess my first thought with this story is I don't really understand why Ray is so concerned. I feel like I would just... I mean, I understand why he's concerned about his brother. Let me backtrack to that. I do understand why he's concerned about his brother having the money, because if they split the estate, then half goes to his brother. And obviously his brother is not the most put together person. So I can understand why Ray would be concerned about, you know, his brother getting that kind of money. But I guess I just don't understand why it worries him so much, like, where it came from and what's going on. I mean, just put it in the estate and move on. Like, I just feel like right away I didn't really understand the concept of why he was so concerned. I mean, I understand that nobody wants to sit there and think that, you know, their parents, their father especially, is... Well, I don't know about especially. I guess, you know, let's just leave it at that. Nobody wants to sit and think that their parents are not good people and, you know, that maybe they've been up to something shady. So I can kind of understand that he's, like, concerned about where it came from because he doesn't want his dad, who definitely should not have been making that kind of money on a retired judge's salary, to have all this stuff that it seems like nobody else knows about. I get that, but I also feel like he's made clear at this point in the story how much he doesn't want to be here and how much he wants to just get out and never have to come back, and how he's happy with his life back at the university and teaching and doing all of those things. So a part of me is like, why are you so worried about it then? You know, just put it in the estate, let people know it's there, let the lawyers deal with it, get your share, legally and fairly, and then just move on with your life. I feel like this is just an added thing on your plate that you don't need. And I feel like he spends so much time sitting there and worrying about it in this story. And it's kind of like, well, you're just moving it around, you're losing sleep, you know, and then these threats start coming in. And it's just like, why are you even worried about it? And I feel like he can trust, oh gosh, isn't it Rex? Who's the lawyer? Yeah, I want to say it's Rex. I mean, you can clearly trust him, really above anybody. So go ahead and just let him know that it's there. Let him deal with it. Why are you trying to deal with it? And then it's like, you know, he, of course, is caught up in, like, everything that's going on in the estate. So then, of course, he buys this airplane, even though he knows he probably shouldn't, but buys it anyway. And I'm like, see, now you're just being stupid. I mean, you could have let this go. You could have let things been handled legally. And now you're just making things worse. Because the plane is expensive. And it's something that's so easy to see that he's bought and is taken care of. So I feel like you're just making your situation worse when you already know you have these people, I mean, for lack of a better phrase, hunting you down. And you're just going to go ahead and buy the super expensive airplane? I mean, I get it. Like, I think we would all be tempted when that kind of money sets in. But if he's so worried about where the money came from, and he's so worried about these people following him, it makes me feel like he's not really thinking it through, and he's just kind of like fumbling his way through. I have to gently stir and not overmix. I just think the money just ends up being so much trouble. I mean, he goes to all these casinos, trying to figure out if it's real or not, trying to figure out if it can be traced, if it's, you know, I just feel like at this point, it's just so much trouble. Why would you not just say that it was in the estate and move on? And I don't know. I think at this point, this is where the author sort of lost me a little bit, just because I feel like it's too much. I mean, I don't know. I guess, you know, I can't say for sure what other people would do with the money, obviously. But I just feel like when it was this much trouble, and you're having trouble with your brother, you know, and all of his usual problems, and you're having these threats, and it's making you so paranoid, and you can't, like, get back to your life, then I feel like at some point you kind of have to say, okay, you know what? This is more trouble than it's worth. I'm done here. Oh God, I gotta get out my mixer. I don't have room. Okay, well, I have to beat my egg whites now on high speed, so hold that thought. I'll be right back. Alright, it says to fold this into here. I'm not sure there's enough room, so we may just do that the other way around. I just feel like at the end of the day, Ray just starts to make me feel like he's just so dumb. Like, he's so paranoid. And he's not, I don't know. It just feels like he's not doing the right thing. And I know that he gets to a point where he's like, okay, well, I didn't do the right thing first, which I should have done. And so now, how can I do the right thing now? Well, just backtrack and say you're sorry. I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's like, you've already made so many mistakes. You're so incredibly paranoid at this point. And I just feel like you're just missing the beat. Like, you're just not understanding how this is supposed to go down. Just give up at this point. You don't need to know where it came from. You don't need to know why your father was doing things. Just, move on with your life and just get things taken care of. Because at this point, you're just being dumb. Okay, I feel like I should taste this. Hold on, I'm going to scrape a bunch of batter off of here. I don't want to waste batter. Ooh, that's interestingly good. I like that. Okay, our first round of cupcakes is going in the oven. Okay, so now we have to combine all of our stuff into a bowl that we're going to put over the cupcakes when they're done baking. It says shake well. Then I can't help but thinking, okay, so has Forrest known this whole time and he's just, not said anything? I mean, I wanted to give Forrest the benefit of the doubt because I'm like, you know what, everybody goes through their struggles and he, knows he has a problem, so he's trying to be better about it. But then it's hard to give him the benefit of the doubt when you suddenly think, okay, he's known about this whole time and has just, let his brother stew to see if his brother would actually, do something for him. That's what kind of made me mad, is I was like, you're just hoping your brother sticks you, and you're kind of being such a jerk about it. So it's like I've spent the whole book giving you the benefit of the doubt, and you don't deserve it. And then you find out that he has known, for sure, this whole time, and has just been acting like a whole jerk to his brother. And, I mean, chasing him down with people, threatening him, like, that's just wild to me. I mean, money and addiction can make people do some crazy stuff, and I know that, but it's just wild to me that, like, for your own brother, I mean, why not just tell him and split it? I mean, you wouldn't get all the money, sure, but, I mean, you would get a good portion of the money. You know your brother's a pretty good person. Why not just be like, listen, I found this of Dad's. Also, by the way, I killed Dad. It was for the best, you know, he was going anyway, so I just cranked up the morphine a little bit, and bye-bye, Daddy. And then just, like, move on. I mean, you wouldn't even have to tell him that you killed Dad. You could just be like, I found him dead, too, and found the money, got spooked, and left to see what you would do, you know? Or just stay there and be like, hey, bro, Dad's already dead. So, what a jerk. I feel bad for Ray, even though he's been an idiot this whole time. I do feel bad for him because, like, his family is just too much. Okay, so now they're out of the oven, so we've got to take them off, put them on this plate, and we can put a little bit of this stuff on them. I didn't end up putting liners in this, and I know you're already like, let's see why. Well, let me tell you why. Because apparently the milk can seep through the bottom, and so basically what happens is that it seeps through the bottom. So you can't use normal cupcake liners, which was all that I had. I couldn't find the 10 cupcake liners it wanted me to use. So this is what I had, and this is what we're going with. It's the way it is, folks. So we poke some holes in it. 2 tablespoons of this milk mixture over each one. I feel like these are going to be so moist and delicious. I mean, because there's already so much in them. And the plate is going to hold this milk and just, like, keep them this way. We're doing it 2 different ways. So one way I took them out and put them on a plate. And then the other way is I'm keeping the second batch in the actual tin. And I kind of want to see what happens, because I'm guessing these are going to sit on the bottom too. But maybe they're not supposed to. I mean, maybe that's the point. I mean, I'm sure that is the point of the 10 cupcake liners, is that if you don't have anything keeping them from soaking in the bottom. But I feel like it can't possibly be that bad to have this stuff soak everywhere, because it looks delicious. Okay, into the fridge we go. Okay, if you left because of spoilers, go ahead and come back and join us. Our cupcakes went in the oven, then I had to put like a milk drizzle on top, then they went into the fridge, now they're back, and we're ready to put some heavy whipping cream stuff that I whipped up here on top and see how they look. They're definitely going to be moist because this milk is just like soaking into them, but I mean, that's not a bad thing, right? I went ahead and mixed this up off camera because it literally was just me using my mixer on high, and that would not have been interesting to anyone. It doesn't say to pipe it on, it says to just like scoop it on. So that's what we're gonna do. Although it's definitely thick enough that you could probably pipe it on if you wanted to. Some of these are a little derpy. They did not withstand being taken out of their holders. Okay, now I'm gonna put some cinnamon on top. The cinnamon has huge like sprinkle holes, and I don't really trust that. So I'm gonna do a little bit into my hand and go from there. I think this was the way to go. I feel like if I would have let the sprinkles just like come out, it would have not been good. Because already it's a little bit too much. Okay, I can also put strawberries on them. I don't have very many strawberries, but we'll do a couple, just to make them look cute. I'm not going to put a strawberry on the derpy looking ones. I'm going to save them for the nice looking ones. Let's try one. First, let's take a look. So here's our finished product. You can see we've got our cupcake and our dripping off milk combination and our strawberry. Try without strawberry first. Ooh, these are so good. I'm not sure that I've ever actually had Tres Leches, now that I'm thinking about it. But maybe I have. This tastes familiar, so maybe I have. Ooh, the bite with the strawberry was good too. Sorry, I had an itch on my leg. I'm gonna say these were a definite success. These are really, really good. I love the like sweetness, but the heavy whipping cream isn't super sweet, so I feel like it kind of balances it out. And then when you have a bite of strawberry, it's really like fresh and awesome on top. Honestly, I'm gonna give these a 10 out of 10. I'm happy with them. I feel like, I mean, a couple of them came out derpy, but I mean, other than that, like most of them are fine, perfectly round and beautiful. So I feel like they came out really well, and I really love their taste. I think they're super cute. You could definitely put this into a piping bag and pipe like a cute little design on there if you wanted to, but honestly just spooning some on there with your cinnamon and your strawberry really kind of takes care of the decorating for you, so you don't necessarily have to. I did like this book. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I was really intrigued while reading it. Like, I always wanted to be reading it. I didn't really get bored. I think what I didn't like about it was kind of some of the decisions that the characters made along the way, but it was definitely something that I enjoyed reading while I was in it, so I'm going to say this is a 4 out of 5. If you have any other book or baking recommendations, please feel free to throw those my way. I'm always looking for new recipes and new things to read. You can follow me on Instagram if you want. That's where I typically post all of the things that I'm currently reading if you want to keep up on my journey with me. And of course, feel free to follow me on other social media as well. If you had fun today, please like and subscribe. I try to be here for you every week, and I'm always a little bit of fun and a little bit of a hot mess. So what could be better? Thank you to those of you that watch every week. You guys are the absolute best, and I'll see you next time.